Okay, so I'm going to put this first, and then what I was talking about in terms of Amari having a seizure almost 2 days ago. But he's home and he's feeling better and he's being a hammer cam. I see you grinning. I do. You want to smile. Yeah, you do. There's Harry the bear. Where is he? Harry the bear. The ambulance attendants gave it to him. Yeah. Yeah, he loves Harry the bear. Do you love Harry the bear? Yes, you know, eh? He loves Harry the bear. That's Harry. He even said the word Harry, people. Can you say Harry? Harry the bear. His name's Harry. We love Harry. Yes, we do. We love Harry. Anyway, he's well aware. He loves little Harry. It reminds him of his small little bears that can talk, but, you can't really seem to find them anymore, right? In terms of, I have, but they're broken and they're not working, and he misses them. But this one is the same size, and he can hold it, and he talks to Harry the bear. He even said Harry today. Yeah, Harry is Amari's new friend. Harry loves Amari. Harry is a new family member who loves Amari. Yeah, that's Harry. And then I bought him a couple of leapfrogs. I don't know if I mentioned one of my videos. I bought 2 French ones, thinking they were English. Anyway, the French one's kicking around somewhere that speaks French. And then I gave one to Kyrie. This one speaks English. And I have another one that's still in the box that speaks English. So this one speaks English. We have to change the battery, though, I think. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Who's that? He likes that, too. Yeah. Who's that? Yeah. 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 With Harry the bear. There's Harry. Oh. Oh. Andre is giving me some soup. Yesterday, all I ate yesterday. You know what? The last 2 days and a bit. Yesterday we were home. We were home yesterday. So in the last 3 days. Was it yesterday I ate the chips, or was it the day before? Anyway, I have nothing to eat all day. All I drank was 2 cups of coffee. Yesterday all I drank was coffee, and I think I ate some chips. If I didn't eat them yesterday, then I ate them the day before Amari had the seizure, but I think I had them yesterday. That's how stressed out I've been. I've been working with dirty laundry, obviously. As fast as I wash the blanket, it dries. We bring it out here. Amari puked up yesterday, right? So today, though, he has had a Pedialyte, and I gave him some gravel. Shout-outs to Shoppers Drug Mart. I phoned them up, asked them if they had children's gravel, because I was recommended. I didn't go to the appointment this morning because Tisha with Kyrie is sick. So I said, forget it. And so I phoned up the clinic, or whatever it was, and I said, is it absolutely necessary that I bring him? Because, otherwise I'm taking a taxi, and I'm just stressing him out, and, and he's still, right? She said, well, did his seizure stop? And I said, oh, yeah, that stopped. Right, so I didn't go to the appointment, but she suggested that I get children's Tylenol or children's gravel, because all day yesterday, he was purging, drooling and just little, because it's the same crap that Andre went through. It had to get rid of the bile and everything, right? And so this morning I got up, I phoned. They said it's okay, do the children's gravel. So I phoned up Shoppers Drug Mart, because I couldn't order it at Walmart, and they said they had it. So I asked for some more nipples for the bottles, because he chews them up like mad, right? He chews them up. So I got 2 new packs of nipples, ordered the children's gravel, asked for some new syringes, right? Because you can't really use a tablespoon, because just push it away, right? Because it's a teaspoon a time with the gravel every 6 hours for at least a day anyway, right? Full 24 hours, and then after that, as needed. So right now he's on a 6-hour schedule, and then so we've got his next dose of gravel coming in at 10 o'clock. So by 11 o'clock, we're going to try and give him his seizure medication, and hopefully it won't come up, right? Because that was their biggest concern, was him going into another seizure because of the puking. He's not absorbing the medication to prevent the seizure, right? Oh my God. But thing is, he's going 2 days with nothing to drink. And you know what they say, you can only go 3 days without water, and you can die. And he's pooping and puking, and like he's already underweight, and like I'm getting paranoid, right? So okay, and then I asked her about because I've been giving, like, we gave him a bit of ginger ale yesterday, deep fizz ginger ale, but that was coming up. It wasn't staying in him, right? And so she suggested a Pedialyte. So far he seems to like it. This is his old ginger ale. But anyway, we're just giving him a little bit of Pedialyte, berry juice of some kind. And he seems to be tolerating it. Obviously, he's alert. He's back to himself. He's been sitting up. At one point, he did sit up to let me know that he was starting to puke again. So I caught him and patted his back. And it wasn't anything major because his gut is basically empty, right? And that's basically that's the only way to get rid of these things. Is just let them run their course and try and prevent them from becoming completely dehydrated. And my concern, though, is he's so skinny, right? Okay, there's not a lot there for his body to live off of while it's going through that process, right? So far, he's had about maybe 2 inches of Pedialyte since 4:35, 5 o'clock, since 4:35 o'clock. What time is it now? Like, we're not out of the woods yet. What time is it now, Andre?
What?
What time is it now?
What time is it?
Yeah. 8 o'clock, 8:30?
8:46.
Yeah, so it's 8:30. So that's a fair amount of liquid since 4:30. And so far he's been holding it down. He hasn't been drooling, so this is good. But he's not getting no more now until 10 o'clock. He gets his gravel, 1 teaspoon in a syringe, and then leave it so it settles and takes root, does what it's supposed to do, prevent puking and all that crap, nausea. And then he gets his medicine at 11 o'clock, right? Let that settle. And then by, I don't know, 12, because, we keep up hours. We're up 3, 4, or 5 in the morning, like, especially the last few days. But it wouldn't be unusual for everybody to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning around here. It's just the way it is, right? So by no later than midnight, just enough to wet his whistle, and then try and stay up. I'm tired. Andre's making me a can of Campbell's vegetable soup with some crackers and a grilled cheese. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to eat that. I haven't eaten for 2 days except for half a bag of chips yesterday. I drank 2 cups of coffee. I've been working with really gooey crap. I had puke all over me when I went to the hospital. I've been changing Amari and laundry and just, you don't even know. I don't think I'm going to get it, but I told Andre, make me that, feed me, let me rest, let me watch TV and bring a bowl just in case. Just in case. Because it sneaks up on you, right? And all of a sudden, you can't stop it. There's no stopping it, right? I mean, God forbid. So hopefully I won't get it. And then tomorrow, get up, and Andre's going to start in the living room, clearing it out. I'm going to continue on in the kitchen, doing whatever. My neighbor's chicken whatever stuff that she gave me, I'm not canning it because it's been a week since it's been in the jar, and I phoned her up, right? I said, how long has that been in the jar for? She said, oh, it was pushing on a week. I said, okay, I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to can that. I think I'm just going to give it to the raccoons and the cats. Oh, it should be fine. I said, yeah, it probably is, but, because I'm canning it, and I'm already stressed out, right, people? So maybe the broth, I might can the broth tomorrow, quickly, early in the day, just to get it out of, or maybe I'll, you know what I'm thinking? Use that broth to make dumplings with with just a little bit of carrot and just mild, like a mild brothy vegetable egg noodle dumpling or something. I don't know. So maybe because I don't want to can anything, right? I'm kind of just bagged, eh? And I got bigger and better fish to fry here. Much more important things to do. And that's not even my very favorite broth. So, okay, so that's not going to happen. So Andre's going to start doing a sweep, cleaning up, so that I can come in here with a bowl of water and vinegar, start wiping everything down, because I'm teaching him, people. I'm teaching him. You see, that's the thing, right? Wipe the carpet, because when Amari pukes, you flip him over, it's going all over the place, right? You try and contain it, but... So anyway, wipe everything down with some vinegar and water, just a light wipe, just to disinfect. I did buy a steamer that you can steam furniture with and stuff, where it goes up to the point where it kills 99% of all bacteria and all that because of the leakage of his diapers and stuff. Haven't had a chance to use it yet, but that's another day. So we'll just use good old vinegar and water, a little bit, right? Just wipe things down, disinfect, and then I'll make the soup with just a mild broth, and I really kind of want dumplings, right? I'm sure Andre would enjoy that. Amari hopefully can get the broth and a little bit of dumpling. Oh, wow. Thank you, Andre. And, oh, man, I need crackers, though. Oh, I love ya. And don't you grab it, Amari. And, I'm crashing. And then I ordered barbecue chicken for Sunday, because I'm going to put Amari on that meat diet, thank you, on that meat diet with less fat, because fat is hard to digest. So I bought the chicken to make barbecue chicken, but most of the half of the white, Andre likes white meat, so half of the white meat goes to Mari with a little bit of brown meat with no fat or chicken skin. And I bought some asparagus basically for him. Thank you. So Sunday we're planning a nice meal where we can relax. The only thing is I told Tisha, and I'm going to end it on this note, I told Tisha that Andre, I told Andre, I don't think it's a good idea for you to go to Tisha's house for Christmas, whether even for a day or a night, doesn't matter, because first of all, I need help. That's just because we don't know when this is going to flare up. Two, I can't afford Amari getting sick right now, people. I'm sorry, he's too tiny, too skinny. Too tiny, too skinny to have another bout of anything when it comes to coming into contact with other people with their viruses. Can you fix him up? Something's wrong. I don't know what is wrong. Something happened. Here, give him a sip of a little bit of this. There's a little bit of his ginger ale should be fine still. Just enough to wet his whistle. This is what I mean. This just came out of nowhere. Is his foot okay?
Yes.
Okay, he doesn't want it? Okay. And, so of course Tisha got all up in a hippie, saying that I'm denying Andre, fun time, right? And it's not even about that. Andre will go there, come back sick, because I told her I don't want to watch the kids either for a couple, 2-3 weeks or so, right? At least 3 weeks. I want to give him a chance to recuperate in full and not have to go through this again anytime soon and just focus on that diet plan. Yeah. What's the matter? Why are you being like that? Oh my God. You crying real tears? Here, take this. See, I don't even get a chance to eat. Okay, come here. Come here and see me. Come here. Are you feeling lonely? There we go. Oh. You miss your hugs? I've been hugging him for quite a bit. Yeah. Yeah, I've been hugging you, haven't I? Yeah, are you missing your hugs right now? Yeah, you're probably hungry. You know that's food. And you're saying feed me. But the nurse said no, not today. It's got to be it's got to be at least 24 hours of liquids, and I agree with her, people. And even then, they have to be in little bits and batches, Amari. I know. Tomorrow you're going to have some oatmeal with a little bit of applesauce, okay? Nana's got it all figured out. Yeah, you still kind of smell sick. I can tell. He's got that sick smell, right? Yeah, I know his food. He's hungry is what he wants because he likes to eat now, right? Because I've been feeding him food. But we're not, and this is what, like, I'm trying to explain to Tisha, like, I can't afford him picking up another virus from anybody. I don't care who it is. And then, because, we need to fatten him up a bit here. And, it's not like Kyrie, chubby and whatnot, right? If Kyrie catches a flu, puking and this and that, and pooping and diarrhea, and then, whatever, and then all of a sudden he's got green boogers coming out of his nose, and he can handle it. His body can handle it because, he's got that body fat where Amari can't. Oh, you're selfish. You're just thinking about yourself. No. Far be it. Far be it. Why would I disinfect the fucking living room? Right? So Andre can go to your house and pick up more germs from your kids that go to school and are always sick, like all the time. Right? You know what I'm saying? Basically, because Leia goes to school, right? So that's, it's like almost every time they come, if it's not one, it's both of them that are sick. Right? Normally, like, Mari hasn't gotten anything over the last year, and it's easy for you to say, oh, it's about time, he needed to get sick. It was due. Quiet, okay? It was due, right? No, yeah, fine, it was due, but, and that's what I mean. When people don't walk in your shoes, do what you do on a daily basis, they don't know. Right? So now Tisha's mad at me because I won't let Andre go to her house for Christmas. And I don't want to watch the kids for a few weeks because I want to make sure that Amari gets full 100% attention. And we'll work on those 5 little meals a day spaced out within a certain amount of time because I have to give his gut time to digest it, right? So how I'm going to do this, I don't know. I just don't know. I just know that I'm on the right path. And that's what it is right now. He's fussy. He can smell the food. He can see the food. And he wants it. And I can't give it to him yet because it's too soon. I am lucky that he's even drinking anything right now, people. And so far, he's been holding it down. Yeah. Why would I want to introduce another sickness within a week from now? In terms of either watching her kids, because she's got something to do, or letting Andre go and come back with germs on him from other people that were there. I can't. No, I just can't. When you're pushing 2 days without liquids, and you're purging from both ends of your body, and you've got no body weight, that is a serious situation. You got to be on top of it. And I'm on top of it. And you can't let people derail you from what you think is the right thing to do. And that's the right thing to do right now. Disinfect the environment. Keep it fucking germ-free as best as you can in terms of don't allow other people to come in with their germs and leave them behind so that you catch another puking flu. Start the process all over again. Next time I might not be so damn lucky. So it's going to be a lonely Christmas. But Andre and I were going to have barbecue chicken on Sunday with salad. And I bought a, what is that called? I'm going to end it on this note. I bought a air fryer. So he's going to make french fries with the air fryer. And I'm going to cook my chicken in my convection oven so I can practice using it, right? And a nice little salad. And we're going to clean tomorrow. And then Sunday is an easy day. Have a nice meal. Amari will be eating some chicken. No fat. 0% yogurt with honey. and some asparagus. That's what Amari gets on Sunday, assuming that he gets back to his, being able to be his normal little self. Right. And Sunday dinner. Yeah. But tomorrow he starts with a little bit of oatmeal. And I'm talking a little bit, people. Like a tablespoon. A tablespoon of oatmeal and a tablespoon of applesauce. That's how you have to start this shit with his Pedialyte. Oh, yeah. And so anyway, I ordered that stuff from Shoppers to have them dropped off. Shoppers Drug Mart to have them dropped off. And the lady phoned me back and said, okay, I got everything. And it's just, can I ask you a question? And I said, what? She says, can I pay for it for you? I said, why? Why would you want to pay for what I, those things? Oh, well, pay forward. I do this, every now and then. And I'm like, oh, okay. You're kind of putting me on the spot now, right? But sure. So I didn't have to pay for the gravel, for the child's gravel. I didn't pay for the nipples. I didn't pay for the Pedialyte. So that was kind of nice. It made me feel good. Took away the stress. Because it's so stressful, you don't even know. And even when I do get a chance to eat, if you notice, I'm not eating. Yes, I know what you want. You smell that food. You can see that food, but I can't give it to you yet. It's too soon. Tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. And if I'm afraid to give you too much Pedialyte, because if I give you too much, it will come out at 4 o'clock in the morning when everybody's sleeping, and that's dangerous. Right? It's a juggling act. Tammy's back on the scene. Tammy would know what I'm talking about. Tammy would know exactly what I'm talking about, because she knows what it's like looking after a disabled child when they get sick. It's not that simple. No. It's not like a normal, average, everyday child that doesn't have, Amari's not, he doesn't have health issues per se in terms of like his immune system. I mean, come on, a whole year he had a cold once that lasted for less than a day. That's pretty good for a kid in his situation. But with the lack of weight, puts him at risk to, if he does get sick like he just did with the seizure and this cold, well, puking flu. So what do you want? Pediasure? I'm afraid to give it to you. Yeah. You want more? Do you want more Pediasure? Oh my God. There you go. You want Harry the bear? You want Harry the bear? Yeah. He smells sick. When children are sick, they have a certain kind of smell. You still smell sick. Now you smell sick. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Parrot, that's Harry the bear. We love Harry. That came from the ambulance attendant. And Amari, almost from the beginning, right? I told you, you'll hear what happened, eh? And when he got into the ambulance, and the ambulance attendant started to give it to him, he was aware of it, right? And he was aware of it, and he was actually holding it in the hospital. And he was playing and laughing at it today and holding it. So he loves Harry. So Harry is a cute little bear. And that came from the ambulance attendant yesterday. So, Andre, quiet. Okay? All right, so this first, and then whatever I was talking about. The battle isn't even over yet when it comes to those drinks. Okay? All right? I don't want to be derailed from working on his menu plan. Okay, we'll just do it from this angle for a minute. Oh. Alright. The video I was working on last night, is converting right now. It's a short little video. I was talking about Shmi. Alright. Anyway. What time is it, people? And what day is it? It is December 20th of 2024 at 5:23 in the morning. Okay, why am I up? Well, I've been up for a while because when I was recording yesterday, this is the introduction to this video, to which I don't know what this video is going to be towards the end, right? We'll just one moment at a time here, okay? Anyway, I was on the computer doing the shimei, right? Talking about shimei. And, 3 days ago, 3.5 days ago, Andre got some sort of a puking flu where he puked, and then after that he kept puking, because once they puke, and you kind of figure out that they have a puking flu, right? You tell them to stop eating, because if you keep feeding the bacteria, it keeps breeding, and you keep, right? You have to clear out the gut. That's the only way, really. And you have to clear out the gut first, and then you have to introduce a little bit of fluid. Defizzed ginger ale, right? That's really a very good one. Mild chicken broth, that kind of thing. And then a little dry toast or something like that. Nothing greasy, nothing heavy, and you start off with just little, okay. So I told Andre, if you got the puking flu, if you think that's the puking flu, you know the routine. Don't eat, Andre. Okay. Basically, and don't drink too much. Just a little sip, just enough to wet your whistle, right? Like very tiny, teeny, weeny little sips. Okay, so he does that, and I don't remember what time he started puking. I just know that we went to sleep, and apparently he was puking all night into a bucket, and they were basically coming up. I don't want to call them dry heaves. They weren't. What it was the gut expelling everything, right? So bile, and then we woke up, and then he had one more puke a few hours after we woke up. And he's like, "Oh, Nana, it's green now." And he got all scared. And I'm like, "No, it's okay. That's bile. You're puking up bile. That's what's happening. Your gut is flushing out the toxins, whatever's in there. Okay? All right." And then after that, it stopped. But the thing is, he didn't get normally when people get that, right? They call it a 24-hour flu. Sometimes they call it a 48-hour flu. It could be extended right up to 72 hours, but I think, oh my God, I don't want to wake up the kids. But I think 72 hours is where maybe people make the mistake of keep feeding it, right? Because if you keep feeding that bacteria, it keeps repeating it. It does what it does, right? That's why it's important just to stop eating and try not to drink anything. And if you are, it's just enough to wet your mouth, right? Just tiny, teeny, weeny sips, and even then, wait until you puke out most of everything. All right, and usually when people get that, though, they're sleepy, they're tired, they're achy, they don't want to move. Not this time. Andre was moving around, doing whatever, and he didn't show the standard symptom of what you would think a 24-hour flu would be, right? All right, so it turns out, though, Tisha and her kids and Alex, all four of them, were puking prior to Andre getting it. And I had watched Tisha's kids a day or two before. And that's the thing, that stuff will linger in the environment for a couple of 2-3 days. Yeah. You'll go into somebody's house, they won't tell you that they had the puking flu a day ago, because they're fine now. They're walking around acting like everything's normal, right? So they're not telling you, right? A day or two ago, they give you something to drink, a cup or whatever, and it gets on your hands, you touch the environment, you put your fingers in your mouth, Next thing you know, within a week you got it, and you can't figure out where the hell you got it from unless, of course, your friend or whoever you went to told you that they had it in the house before you showed up. And that's why it gets passed around in schools really bad. We're thinking that Alea May is a freaking walking germ factory because Tisha, they're always sick, like all the time, because she goes to school, people. Basically. But she brings her kids here every week, so we come into contact with it. But for whatever reason, Amari's immune system is really strong, and my immune system is really strong. Like, Amari has not had any illness, sickness, cold. Maybe one day he had a little mild cold where for a day he was a little lethargic, right? But other than that, no colds, nothing. No puking flus, nothing. Andre gets them for whatever reason. I don't have the time. I can't afford to get sick. Very seldom do I get sick. It takes years before I get that sick, like a puking flu or something. Like right now I'm waiting for it to happen to me because I'm coming into contact with a lot of body fluids because Amari got it. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why I put on the camera. As I was doing the video with Shimei, Amari all of a sudden puked. And it was like 11 o'clock at night or something like that. Yesterday. And so he puked up all the food. It just came out in one big blob on the blanket. And then, of course, you know, he started, I had to put a suppository in him prior to that happening. But he showed no symptoms of being quote-unquote sick, right? And Andre had already recovered from what he had, and I didn't have no symptoms, so I business as usual for me, and, like, I made the mistake, people, I'm telling you, I made the mistake of giving Amari 3 or 4 of those drinks over the last month, space it in between just as a filler, right, for maybe when because I'm trying to build in that system where there's, okay, and they clog them up, I don't know what the hell they do, but they're just no good for him. So he had this hard ball in his freaking gut. Right? And, like... But as soon as he puked, and I had to put the suppository in there a little earlier, he was starting to poo a little bit, right? And because the suppository got it going, right? It's right, and then anyway he puked. It was a big puke. So in my mind I'm thinking, okay, you're so clogged up with whatever's bogging you up in your gut, there's no room for this food to sit there and digest and do what food does, travel through the tract, because he's clogged. Right? He's plugged up, people. It's like, this is not a game, okay? I don't take this shit lightly because I deal with it. Okay. All right. I'm annoyed right now. I'll tell you why in a minute. I'm always annoyed. So anyway, I don't know if he puked because there just wasn't any room for that food to do what food does, and he can't move because of the big ball in his gut, or maybe he picked up Andre's flu. So we cleaned him up. Andre and I, we worked really good together as a team. Andre has his little faults. He's only 14. He could be not such a throw it here, throw it there. That kind of more like be organized. But hopefully he'll learn how to stop throwing things around just because he's being hasty. Outside of that, oh my God, you don't even know how helpful he is with me, people. Like, we work really good together as a team because there's puke everywhere now, right? Puke on the blanket, puke on Amari. Amari's like freaking out, just, a little, right, at this point. And then, and of course I have to change them because I can smell the poo coming. And that's another thing. I can always smell those drinks when he starts passing them. They have a certain kind of smell. And I'm like, yeah, okay, all right, here it comes. Something's coming, right? And then, so we, change them up. I teach Andre. I really do teach him, people. Okay, Andre, do you see this big pile of puke on this blanket? Because he's like ready to pull and I'm like, no. That's not what you do. Put everything in the took off his shirt, his pants, all of it. Put it all into whatever. Don't worry, Nana will deal with it after the fact. Just, right, roll up the blanket first. Go get me a bag, right? And we'll throw everything of what his clothes, the blanket that's rolled up with the puke inside, okay, into the bag. That's the first thing, right? And then, of course, this stuff spreads around because as soon as Amari starts puking, right, I run. And Andre was already, right, starting, and then I grab him, and then I hold him, and I flip him over, and, you know, I pat his back, and I make sure that, you know, he's not gagging on this shit, right, because you don't want him breathing it into his lungs, okay, right? He's not like us, so he needs that help, right? He's like a baby. I treat him like as if he was a baby choking. Grab him, flip him over on his side, whatever, on his back, right? Check, you know, and whatever, right? So I'm getting puke now all over me, right? And whatever he was coming out of his ass was leaking through. So it's now on my pants and just whatever. Okay, so you can only imagine what it's like. All right. But Andre helps me. So we bagged up the second bag. We did the first bag, and then we did another bag. I'm teaching him that when you come into this is how you prevent germs from being spread around the house. And then we have a big blanket, a big one, that we use to pencil Amari in. And I said, this has got puke and something on it too. I can smell it, right? You need to go get, you know, we need to get this out of here. Oh no, he went to grab it and he was going to carry it through and put it in my fucking kitchen, people. Like, I gotta move out of this house at some point in the future. Like, seriously, man, you don't even know what it's like having a freaking washing machine right up in your face with all kinds of crap around with fucking this kind of laundry piling up. It's pathetic. But besides that point, I got good coping skills. All right. So I'm like, no, Andre, did you just not see what we did? Bag number 1, bag number 2, go get a big black garbage bag. We're going to put it in there. And then you can take those bags and you can go put them up by the fridge. And then I will get back to it later. All right. That's what I mean by he's very helpful. And then, of course, as we're changing him, you know, go get me this, get me that. And then, of course, I had to, you know, birdie bath him with a pot of water. First, Andre comes with this little teeny weeny bowl. And I said, no, Andre, no. We need, like, a big pot. Go get a pot. So he got my big pot, right? My big one. Filled it up with nice warm water. And I told him, you know, go get the bathroom, get the bar soap. And, you know, put it in there so that, you know, in a nice clean cloth so I can clean him up. So I clean him up. And then Andre, you know, he helps me to lay down the blankets after, because you have to do everything in increments in order to not spread germs around any more than they're already being spread, okay? All right, so we clean him up, we get him comfortable. He's basically acting like himself. He doesn't look like he's sick. I don't know if it's because he's clogged up and it came up, or if he's coming down with what Andre had, because what Andre had was very deceiving, because he didn't act like he was sick, but he just would puke, right? And it got to the point where he had to puke up the bile in order to completely flush out the bacteria from his system, okay? And yes, he did. I asked him tonight when we were discussing this situation if he had diarrhea at any point through that process. He said, yeah, he had one big bout. So he did, and so it came out from, not only from the butt, whoosh, but it also whoosh, came out from there. And because he listened to me and he let his stomach completely empty out, he's okay now. Except his throat is a little irritated from just whatever, right? Okay, so I don't know if it's going to happen again with Amari or what. So I said, okay, Andre, well, with Amari, just here, go get the ginger ale, defizz it, and just give him little sips to rinse out his mouth because of the puke and everything, just so he can, right? So I guess he drank, I don't know, over a period of an hour and a bit, right? Maybe about that much, which in my opinion was too much. I was thinking more like this, but Andre gave him a bit more. Plus he had his medicine. Well, okay, when I turned off my camera, I heard Amari. Now, I don't know. I don't know if the recording picked it up. I'd have to actually go back and try and listen, because you know, if you've been watching my videos over the years, I go a lot on ear, right? And I'm a nervous bird now with Amari. You know, seriously, I'm always, is he okay? What's going on? What's he doing? What's that sound? You know, Andre sometimes gets irritated with me, but, you know, like, that's just a fact of life. That's, you know, it's right. So anyway, I'm sitting here doing this video, and then I hear Amari holler out in a way that I've never heard him holler out before, because I'm used to his sounds for the most part. Okay? This is about an hour and a half after he had that major puke and we cleaned him up, and he looked and was acting normal, and Andre was just giving him little sips, but he gave him actually too much, right? Because, you know, whatever. It would have happened anyway. It wouldn't have mattered whether he wouldn't have gave me. It just would have happened anyway, because he got whatever Andre got, and Tisha's family's got, I don't know, he's got something. So okay, he hollers out in a way that he never hollered out before. It was like a frightening holler, like if you were frightened and you that kind of a holler, right? And I'm like, Andre, what was that? What's Murray doing? Oh, he's just talking. And I'm like, no, Andre, that's not talking. Okay, 'cause I heard it. I turned off the camera. I just know it was almost at the same time between the two, right? And I turned off the camera, and I said, what was that? Or something, I don't know. And I went to go check on Amari, and he was like this, right, with his eyes like that, which is a signature of a seizure. Okay, so you look, you know, he's like this, but his both eyes are like that, okay? And they're not moving, they're just fixated. That is a sign of a signature. And I'm like, okay. So I touch him here, because don't forget, he puked, right? So I'm wondering if he puked again, but there's nothing to puke out, because he pretty much puked it out outside of maybe that little bit of liquid that Andre gave him, and he was saturated. And I'm like, okay, Andre, so pick him up. And you know, even after this time, I mean, he hasn't had a seizure for over a year now, right? I need to keep track of this shit, because every time I go to the hospital, well, you should know that. Well, we don't. Well, how is that possible? You have a fucking file on him. Anyway, I'm sure it's been over a year since he's had a seizure. We were all kind of waiting for it, because, you know, we're always on pins and needles under that microscope, expecting miracles from us, even though we can never produce them. You know, it's terrible. It's terrible looking after a disabled child, because you just can never measure up to other people's expectations. Because even if you come across 10 people and 8 of them are, I don't want to say sympathetic to your circumstances, and wouldn't dare challenge you unless, of course, they knew what you go through, because they've done it themselves. But there's always 1 or 2 or 3 in there, in that group of 10, that think they fucking know everything, and they're on a power trip, and they're out to freaking, I don't know, screw you around, like hurt you, and just, they got it ulterior motives, and just whatever. So, okay, and that's all it takes to make it where you can never be at peace, right? And just, all right. So we're panicking slightly, but we know the routine, because we've been through this a few times. So, you know, I pick him up, of course, right? Back to that, you know, right? If I stick my finger, trying to get, you know, Amari, not smacking, but Amari, you know, to see if he'll respond, because we don't know if it's the, because the sound that he made, I don't know, it was just one big holler out. And, okay, so I got him. And of course he's, whatever. I'm trying to, see if he's going to respond. Andre says, what do we do? I said, I don't know, just give me a second, right? I stick my finger in his mouth. I don't want to stick my finger in my mouth because I'm touching lots of shit. Ugh. It's everywhere in the environment. So, in terms of that bacteria. I'm doing laundry. I was washing shit, clumps of shit, out of his clothes as he was shitting in the fucking hospital last night, because it's purging not only from the mouth, it was purging from the bottom. And in some ways it's good because that big clump is completely gone now, but it had to come out in sections over a period of fucking hours. And like, you don't even know, people, like, it's ugh. So okay. So, patting him, I like to take my finger and put it in his mouth to see how strong his jaw is clenching. Because if his jaw is clenching really hard, right, then I know that it's, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, right? It was a half and half. It was a half and half clench. And, but he wasn't responding, so I said, yeah, Andre, like, this is a matter of seconds, right? Within, 30 seconds to a minute, like, okay, you assess, and clearly he's not responding, he's not, he's not reacting. Yeah, call 911, and I like to take him outside where it's cool. That's just a given, because the air in here is hot and stuffy, and and whatever, and he likes it too, because even though he's in a seizure, there's been times, people, where he's been aware and he's responded to me, right? I know that for a fact. So okay, I take him outside, and I'm on the doorstep, sitting on the ground, still doing whatever, and he's not responding. I can't tell whether he's breathing or not, so I breathe a little bit into his mouth, just a little bit. I didn't do CPR or nothing, but just a right, and then whatever, and come on. Andre's on the phone. I don't know, I guess the person who was on the phone kind of annoyed Andre because he was asking questions that Andre was answering, but the guy wasn't satisfied. And anyway, Marcaine ended up coming outside. He said, can I help? I said, obviously, here, take him to the ambulance. By that time, the ambulance came by, and Marcaine carried him out to the ambulance. It went really smooth. I was actually pretty happy with the situation in terms of, as soon as they drove up, Amari was handed over, and but he was already coming out of it because of what I was doing. So that by the time he got into the ambulance, by the time he got into the ambulance, he was already responding, because by the time I got into the ambulance, right, because they said, okay, he's in the ambulance. I ran out there, he's in the ambulance. By the time Marcaine took him, and by the time I managed to do whatever I needed to do to quickly get out there, just to, what's going on, like, I guess you guys want me to come, right, and he was, they said, oh, he's, what, is this normal behavior for him? Because he was already starting to respond. I contribute to that, taking him outside, cool air, come on, come on, whatever, right, and he was awake, but he was still hollering out. I said, that's new. That's a new milestone. That's a different sound. It sounds like he's frightened or something, right, really, I don't want to be loud, right? And then he started kicking a bit. I said, well, he does kick, but he's, he's a little bit too sporadic right now with it, because, you know what it was, people? It was the poo passing through his system. Honestly, I'm telling you, that's what it was. I fucking figured it out, okay? But at that time, you don't know, because you're in the moment, right? You're in the moment. And I'm like, and they're saying, oh, calm down. He's doing good. He's responding. Like, they didn't have to do anything because he was already looking around. And they asked me if he was behaving somewhat normal. And I'm like, well, kind of, but not really. And that sound is not normal. That's new. And yeah, he kicks his legs, but not like this, right? There's no reason for him to be doing this outside of something's distressing him, right? Anyway, they transferred him from the one ambulance to the second ambulance, and by that time I went with the ambulance, and he was awake. And there was a few times he got scared because it's very bumpy. It's a very bumpy ride in the cab of the ambulance. And he hollered out with that, a new sound. But he's getting older now, you know, and you know, they asked me if he communicates. I'm like, well, no, not in the traditional sense, but he does communicate with me. He tells me, he lets me know. Like, honestly, people, that holler out, if I wouldn't have heard that, if I would not have heard that and went and checked on him, Andre just thought it was just him being whatever, because, you know, he does make sounds, right? And he was sitting somewhat up, and he was like this, you know, and Andre's like, you know, it's getting 11:30 at night. You know, we just cleaned him up. Everything was fine, and he was talking. He was talking and being his normal little self there in that window of 1.5 hours. But then all of a sudden, it was a big, and I'm like, Andre, what is that? What's going on? Like, what's that noise? Oh, he's just talking. And I'm like, no, I turned off the camera. I mean, what was that? He's just talking that. I said, no, and I went to check. If I wouldn't have checked on him, all that puke, and it was water, liquid, right? It wasn't the bile yet. It was the liquid, okay, that he drank from that little bit of ginger ale and his medicine. Who knows? He would have sat there for a while anyway, in complete seizure mode. It's funny how God works like that, don't you think? Because, you know, in my mind, that was Amari letting me know. That was Amari calling me, letting me know. Amari's smart. He is. He knew. Okay, I think so. I do. Because that's how he communicates with me. Okay. So anyway, I rescued him. Right? Made all the right decisions. Now we're at the hospital. And he was basically awake. And because I didn't give him that knockout pill, and he was already coming out of it by the time he got into the ambulance, he was awake at the hospital, right? And that's, you know, that's happened before, where he wasn't deep in the seizure. So I'm not going to take full credit on that, right? And so anyway, but it definitely played a role. Intervention definitely plays a role. That's why Andre and I are so vigilant to never really leave Amari alone by himself for any length of time. Because you just never know. Right? We just have to build in a better system. So anyway, but he was pooping up a storm. He was coming out like, I'd change him, and as fast as I'd change him, it was leaking through. It was just running out of him. And through that process, he passed at the hospital a clump of that crap that was clogging him up, that came from those frickin' drinks. I'm telling you, people. Yeah, because I know the smell of it. Okay? It has its own unique smell. So anyway, cleaned him up there. The nurse helped me with that. I did the majority, but you know, she did what Andre does. I'm wiping, cleaning, right? And then I say, okay, I'm going to pick him, and you take out what's underneath him, and then replace something new. So that when I lay him down, right, because he's basically pretty much been cleaned, because I have a technique around it, right? So she helped me with that, which is good. And, you know, he looked at me for reassurance, right? They gave him a teddy bear, the ambulance. It's so cute. He's Harry the teddy bear. We call him Harry. He responded to the teddy bear. He played with the teddy bear, so that was really nice, actually. And he responded with the pet teddy bear tonight, so that was good. I call him Harry, and I think he even said Harry. I think Amari even tried to say the word Harry. So Harry's a new family member. And, what do you call it? Get to the hospital, do whatever. He has his little pooping session, whatever. They managed to give him his seizure medication through a syringe. They wanted to give him a cup of fucking juice with it. I said, no way. You're just asking for trouble. But they did give him a little nausea thing, wafer or something, under his tongue to at least make it so that he wouldn't puke up his medicine. So that's good. I said okay to that. They wanted to do another x-ray on his lungs. I said no. Because every time he has a seizure, they always do that. And it bothers me because I don't like all these x-rays. You know, every 6 months with the hip doctor and all this other crap. So I try and prolong those. Right? And so this time I said no. Because, you know, whatever came out pretty proficient. In terms of the first puke, he was sitting up, and then all of a sudden it just came out and ended up basically in one big pile. It was a big pile, trust me, on the blanket. And of course a little bit on his clothes, but it was right, and it just came all out. And that was food. And then the second one that came out, again, he was sitting up. Right, because, you know, right. And it just came out and went all on the shirt, and that was just liquid. So the chances of him backdrafting it into his lungs were pretty small, outside of anything that might be like coming, because when you puke sometimes it goes up through the nose, right? That's why you want to get to them as fast as you can to, right, whatever you got to do. And so I said no. I said we'll just wait and see, you know, like if I feel like in the next day or two he's starting to rasp and all this, then yeah, maybe, you know, I'll come back. Other than that, I'd like to pass if it's okay. Well, you don't have to. I said, are you sure? They said, yeah, no, you can refuse it if you want. And I said, well, I would just prefer to pass on it, but, you know, there's always the backup to come in and do it if we need to. If I find that, you know, tomorrow he's not responding and he's like starting to, you know, you can hear it, right? So that didn't happen, and that was it. I was out of there within a few hours. Yeah, a few hours. I should plug in this camera. Oh, it's plugged in. Yeah, I got in there at, oh, I don't know. I don't even know. What was it? I don't know. We'll just say midnight. I don't know. Somewhere around that time. No, I think 1:30, because the first puke was at 11 when I was doing this. Cleaned him up. He was fine. He was talking. He was chatty. He was moving around his normal little self. And then within that hour and a half, then he had the second puke and was going into seizure mode. So by 12:30, so by 1 o'clock, after everything was all said and done, I was at the hospital. And I think I got home at 4:30 in the morning, because Tisha came to pick me up in the hospital from 4:30 in the morning. So I had a little nap, I suppose, at one point or another, after getting him somewhat settled down. And got up. Did the first load, 2 loads of laundry. I did 2 loads of laundry. Andre saying we need a proper laundry room. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. Don't ever say I don't have an incentive to move, because I do. It's just my government has made it impossible for me to move. I'm in a situation like that. This is where you're grateful that you can do your laundry, no matter how cumbersome it can be. Because if I had to choose No laundry or laundry. I choose laundry any day. So I'm just sucking it up. Hold on a minute. Okay, what happens is the heat comes on. And I've been working with... So my nose has been running already and, whatever, right? And the heat comes on. I can feel it, right? Because it's right underneath my desk. And anyway... Okay, so I took the laundry out of the wash machine, people. Now, I rinsed everything off in my kitchen sink after the fact, before I threw it in the wash machine. And then I rinsed it in the wash machine before I started a wash cycle, okay? To wash away the puke, the shit, everything. Wherever, okay, so... I bought Amari these little, they're not rubber pants. I don't have one here right now. But they kind of act like a rubber pant to prevent leaking out, right? To cut back on laundry in general. Anyway, he was wearing them yesterday when this all happened, eh? After we changed Amari, we put on a clean pair. Now these things are brand new, all right? And, so, they haven't been used very much. Just started using them. And, I'm tired. It's 6:30 in the morning, and we have to go to the urgent care unit at the Surrey Memorial Hospital up and around there at 11 for an 11:30 appointment as a follow-up, right? Because, of the situation at hand. Plus, he's really skinny, people. Okay, and we're going to get to this, okay? So anyway, what do you call it? I'm crashing. Whew. So we changed him, and then when we got to the hospital, he had that pair on, that clean pair, right? But by the time I was changing him there to bring him home, or just change him in general because it was just coming out, right? And there was this glob of poo in there. I could feel it. And I'm like, okay, this is great. You're passing that big lump that's in your gut, right? And anyway, I washed the clothes, okay? Rinsed them off, did whatever, and washed them and everything. Now I'm going to spread them around because I don't have a dryer. Some of them might go downstairs tomorrow. Otherwise, I just hang them here, hang them there to air dry, right? Okay, whatever. So I pulled out those things from the wash machine, went to go hang them up in the bathroom, and as I'm hanging up a few other little things in there, I can smell it. I told you those drinks have a distinct smell. And I'm like, no, it must be from somewhere else. Because, I did a really good job at rinsing it out and washing it. And, oh my God. So I had to take the bloody thing and put it to my nose. That's another reason why my nose runs all the time, because I'm always smelling shit to see if it's fucking clean or dirty, right? If it's moldy, depending on what it is, right? If it's moldy, then I know. If it's fucking dirty, I know. If it's pissy, I know. If it's fucking shitty, I know, because I can smell it. I can't fucking see it, but I can smell it. And I have to bring it right up to my nose sometimes, right? It's like, ugh. And then I get pressure and just nasal pressure and, nose is running and, okay, whatever. So I smelt it and brought it up to my nose and, oh yeah, there's no denying it. There's no denying it. It was those drinks, people, that blocked them up like a freaking plug that was wedged in so tight you'd have to take a freaking crowbar to dig it out. And I told him at the hospital, he's been constipated and, you know, and like, you know, I stopped giving him those drinks except for a few over the last few weeks. I gave him one here, one there, just because I'm busy. And I put my guard down on him, and but it clogged him up. He's constipated, and and I had to stop because he's skinny, right? And like, I know that's the first thing these people notice. And I said it to the nurse. Oh well, she said, yeah, but that's normal for these kind of kids. But Amari is not. He I don't know. So what I'm saying is, I think there's more going on with Amari's gut than people like to acknowledge. To which, when I go see this doctor today, whatever doctor I see, I'm going to discuss it with him, because his gut flora is definitely been destroyed by these drinks. And I'm starting to think, people, that these drinks are, if I give it to him, okay, if I give him these drinks, right, even one, doesn't matter, they clog him up and they interrupt his, to absorb nutrients. You know how the gut absorbs nutrients for the body, right? There's something preventing him from absorbing. Now, mind you, he's really active all day long. He's moving around, sitting up, flipping himself over, doing whatever, and being whatever, right? But even still, like, but I do think these drinks have been preventing him from getting the full benefit of food. Now, remember, when I used to give him the drinks at the direction of that feeding team, 4 or 5, if you can, give him 7 a day, he wouldn't eat. Now he eats. Right? And I'm still trying to, I'm at the point where you can see I'm struggling with this. I struggle with it. You don't even know. I'm at the point where I think I just kind of need to really narrow down his food groups to, I don't want to say a handful, like sweet potato, bone broth with sweet potato, asparagus. And that's another thing, because his gut has gone through so much with this bug that he had in terms of a bacteria, because that's what it is. It's not a flu, it's a bacteria, right? That's why you have to flush it out. You have to completely empty out the gut in order to get rid of the bacteria. And that's what the body is trying to do. Okay? And it just took longer for Amari because of that freaking crap that was inside of him, which I do think interferes with his natural ability, his gut, the gut's natural ability to absorb normal food in the way it's supposed to be being done, because something is preventing him from getting the maximum, I don't want to say reward, but the maximum benefit, right? I guess benefit is the better word, of food versus drinks. Because the drinks weren't putting on the fucking weight, okay? And you can't ask me to give him the drinks if he won't eat and then expect me to put him on weight just so that you can put him on more drinks. As I got to come in there, take him to the bath, and basically use old granny style farm school stuff in order to remove the poo from inside of him with some soap in my finger and dig it out, right? If it gets to that point, people, which it did, before I made the decision to stop the drinks, then there's something wrong with those drinks. But then I cut them some slack. I didn't give him any drinks for a couple of 2-3 weeks or whatever the hell it was. I was working with the prune juice, working with the diet. He had some soft poos in there. It was kind of working. It really was. And then I got distracted. I couldn't keep up with the pace. That's why I'm trying to build in the system with the bowls and stuff, right? Where the food is already pre-made and I don't have to be on that daily regime, because there's other things I need to do, right? I broke down and I let him have a drink. And then 3 days later, I let him have a drink. And then within a week and a half, he had like 3 drinks, and that's all it took. That's all it took. And I know it was those drinks, people, because whatever he passed in the last 2 days, well, not even 2 days since last night, because he got rid of it. It came out. It came out because of the bacteria pushing it out with everything else. I went to go hang up these little brand new things that I bought, and they smell like that crap. So that just reinforces in my mind that I can't use them, and I have to stand my ground when I go see these doctors, because I know they're going to throw it in my face one way or another, because we've got that looming letter that somehow I'm depriving Amari of something because I give him Tang every now and then for vitamin C. Well, I don't even give him Tang anymore. I'm with the straight up 100% organic orange juice at $13 a fucking bottle here. So not only does he get his vitamin C, but he gets all these other freaking vitamins in there. Plus he gets the benefit of the natural freaking what is that thing to soften his stools. Like, shut up, man. Right? Just so that they can promote their drinks. That's what it is, people. I'm telling you. Well, what can I feed them? Like, in terms of, can you give me like a diet guide, like, little recipes or something? I always ask. No, we don't know. Just give them lots of cream. And just another thing, give them lots of cream. Give them lots of butter. Give them cottage cheese. Give them all these milk products, right? So, we just went through what we went through, and I'm again on the internet Googling what, just so that, I walk lightly with this, right? Okay? I don't want to have a flare up, okay? I don't want Amari getting constipated again. I don't want I don't want his gut struggling to digest the food. So what foods are easy to digest? Again, well, I knew asparagus was at the top of the list. I know Sam is at the top of the fucking list. Anyway, I Googled it, right? I'm reading again, right? So I'm on Walmart. I'm ordering freaking asparagus. I'm going to give him fresh asparagus, right? But I'm going out today, so I'm just going to pick some up on the way home. Obviously chicken, but I don't want to I don't want to bring chicken into the kitchen right now until I get it organized and disinfected, right? Plus, I've got, the chicken broth that I made, just, that's in the fridge. I like it I like this one. This one was made with the whole bird. Tastes so much better. This is the one I'm going to be giving Amari starting today. Even though I've got the other chicken broth in my fridge that I, just did. But it was made from legs and just the carcass of the bird. No, you want the whole bird. Trust me, this is the better one. And I'm going to take this to the fucking clinic with me today when I go see this doctor. I said, don't, he'll be like, oh, I'll be like, yeah, but, we're dealing with something else here. And you want to throw this team and this team and this team and this team in my fucking face? Well, let's work as a team. Because if anyone loves Amari, it's Andre and me. Okay? Because we're the ones that are with him every freaking day. We do the work. And we're the ones that try and figure out what's the best way. If I say, Andre, I think we should give Amari a drink because, no. He's trying to put the brakes on it because he gets into panic mode too, people. But the feeding teams would be like, oh, well, she's doesn't want to give him the drinks the way we're telling her to, and instead she wants to give him Tang, but there's not enough calories in Tang, so we tell her to give him milk. Well, guess what? I found something that gives him more calories than milk, which is prune juice, which is better because then I don't have to use a laxative that doesn't even work anyway. But as soon as I gave him a drink, it clogged him up. And that's what I'm going to tell these doctors. And I'm going to stand my ground with them, people. And don't think I'm not shaking in my boots. Because, they're authority and I'm a nobody. So, I tell Andre, Amari represents $4,000 to somebody to look after him when it comes to being a foster child. Plain and simple. $4,000. You do the bloody math. Okay? And what are they going to do? They're going to put him in a fucking bed all by himself, leave him in there until they decide to go pick him up because he can't get out by himself, right? And, when they come into these little shit parties, well, right, you think they're going to do like I do in terms of the love that comes with looking after someone in this situation, or are they doing it just because they have to, right? And then when a doctor comes in and says, And when a doctor comes in and says, oh, well, you know, we've got this program over here, this little fucking drug over here, this little procedure over here, you know, this is what we want to do. You can't really say no, though, because, you know, he's under the ministry care, because, you know, he's in foster care now, because the other woman couldn't look after him properly, because she didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. I'm just saying, right? And that person's going to do what they want, and he's just going to become one of those monkey babies in a fucking tube so other people can exploit him for profit. Okay? That's what I'm up against, people. So today, you'll be like, he's skinny, and I'll be like, you don't think I don't know? And now that he passed that big lump of whatever there was in it came out in sections too, eh? Yeah. But it's gone now. Because his stomach is completely flat. And because it's so completely flat, you can see his the hip bone. Because he's skin and bones. He not putting on weight. And that's my fault? Fuck no. Don't say that. Because we were giving him those drinks the way you told us to give it to him. And he wasn't putting on any more weight than he was putting on what he's right now. Right? The only thing was he couldn't fucking shit. And you put me in a position where it was a do or die situation. Because at any moment his gut could have exploded. And I take this shit serious because that's what happened to my grandmother, people. She went to the hospital with constipation, was sitting on a bed waiting for help. And her fucking intestines exploded. And she fell off the freaking bed onto the hospital floor and died. It happens. It's not a joke. Now, my grandmother had problems when she was younger, had some of her intestines removed, did suffer from constipation. And, you know, when I phoned up the hip doctor the last time, you know, we were supposed to have an appointment, I was talking to the lady on the phone, and she told me she had her same problem with her mom, and she had to help her mom to take out that shit manually because all these laxatives that they were prescribing wasn't working. Well, I don't want to be put in that position again. I don't. And I don't think it's fair to Amari. And if you're asking me to give him something that clearly is dangerous, right, and uncomfortable, and is not producing the result that you want me to give him, as you're expecting me to feed him fucking cheese and butter and milk and freaking all these high-fat foods without maybe acknowledging that his stomach can't digest it. And the whole point of all that is, as I'm looking online again tonight, as to, okay, his tummy is upset, clearly, so we want to introduce food gradually where it's easy to digest so that we don't clog him up and upset his stomach and make it so he's going to puke again. And he's like, you know, you have to go with care, right? And I'm reading that actually fat in general, like high-fat cottage cheese, chicken skins, that kind of fat, right, is hard to digest, especially if you have gastrointestinal problems. If you have a hard time digesting food for whatever reason. These things are, this is recording, right? Am I talking to myself in the wind? It's hard on people. And if they have a bout, yeah, it's recording. If they have a bout of a situation like I just told you what I went through, the last thing you want to do is put a lot of, like walls, and it makes sense. It honestly, it does, because when you get the bacteria, when you get the puking flu, that 24-hour puking flu, which is really a bacteria, you have to give the time to clear it, the gut to clear itself out. And when you do start introducing food, it's dry toast, a little sip of, you know, a broth, ginger ale, start slow, and then eat small meals that are not greasy. And what does fat produce? Grease. I knew that, but I had to read it. And I'm like, Well, maybe with Amari it's a little more than that. Maybe it's not a few day situation in terms of he had his puking flu. We're going to cut back on the fat. And then after 4 days of him becoming his normal happy little self, we can get back into the routine of stuffing him up with butter, whipping cream, milk, cottage cheese, those kind of things, chicken fat with the skin, and and pork fat with the meat, and maybe instead of trying to fatten him up that way, thinking you're doing him a favor when in fact maybe you're not, because his body, his gut flora, his gut issues are not able to digest it, and that could be interfering with his weight gain. And this is what I'm going to try today and explain to this doctor, because I don't know what's up, because honestly I don't trust these people. I don't. Somebody in that group sees dollar signs. They don't see Mari, they see dollar signs. Whether it's a doctor looking to take x-rays, do this, plug them into that, whatever, or whether it's a fucking social worker or some nurse with, looking to be, looking for brownie points with, their partners in crime when it comes to, placing children someplace else where somebody can make $4 fucking grand a month, tax-free, people. Foster parents in British Columbia, Canada, do not pay taxes on the money that they make when the government pays the foster care parent to look after these children. That is $4 tax-free. Don't tell me you're thinking about my grandson when you're spending the money before you even fucking get him. Okay? I'm going to take this too with me. I haven't used it yet because I'm unfamiliar with it. But when I was doing my little extract craze, lemon extract, peppermint extract, that kind of stuff, I picked up this because this is an extract of some kind that's supposed to ward off this kind of stuff in terms of colds and bacteria and blah, 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 blah. But I haven't used it yet. I was thinking to use it a few days ago, right? But I don't know how many drops. I'd probably do 1 or 2 drops with Amari. But anyway, I'm going to take this with me to the clinic today. And I'm going to take this with me, to the clinic today. I'm going to tell them I think we're dealing more with, Amari is gut sensitive, just like Kyrie is gut sensitive. Only Kyrie's issues are diarrhea. Alright? Where Amari is, I don't know. So anyway, tonight, after I had my little nap, I woke up. Of course, Andre with his eagle eyes were keeping an eye on Amari. What Amari's been doing is basically kind of what Andre was doing. Like I said, after Andre had that first puke, right, he went to sleep, and then throughout the night, he kept waking up and having to heave into the bowl with just some liquid coming out, right? The bowels started to come out, which is what needs to happen. Well, with Amari, he right, and a lot of drooling, and then it would come up just a little bit, but because he's just was getting like hardly anything, right, in terms of ginger ale, not that he was wanting to drink it anyway, it was just still kind of coming up out of the stomach. So I'm honestly, I'm really hoping we're past that point now. That's what I'm trying to say. Because for hours, Andre and I were on it, watching, and I held him a lot for quite a few hours today, just to monitor, to make sure that it wasn't going to come up fast. I didn't think there was a lot in his stomach because he's not getting the liquid, but then you worry about dehydration. That's why you give them the electrolytes. That's why you give them the ginger ale with just a tad bit of salt or something, or a little bit of chicken broth. It's just to keep, right? But I mean, even then, there was a time when he didn't even want to touch it. So, it's like walking on a tightrope. But I think we're past that point now, right? And I did manage to get him by the end of the night, which was quite early into the morning, because we're now going on to 7 o'clock in the morning, so by 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock this morning, I suppose, I did manage to get a little bit of ginger ale in him. And it looks like this dribbling out of whatever is stopped. I just checked on him a little while ago. So I'd go and I check, right? Because, some of this stuff is very silent. You don't even know, right? Like, he can go into a silent seizure. You wouldn't even know. Yesterday, he hollered out, and I think for 2 reasons. One, and you see, that's another thing. This constipation brings on seizures, I swear, because it's so much stress on his body. And this time around, it was so... when it was... I think what happened, honestly, people... the bacteria, right, with the diarrhea that it produced, and the body wanting to expel it, made that lump move. And as it was moving through his intestines on its way out, okay, it was causing pain. And I could see that. Because the sound that he made when he hollered out was a combination between shock and awe and fear, and I suppose pain. If something is clogged in your gut, and all of a sudden it starts being pushed out, and you can't stop it, because it was doing it on its own, right? It's like diarrhea. Once it comes, and you just, right? Well, it's no different for Amari. Only thing is, he's just a little guy, right? And it was probably painful for him, people, and that's what pushed him into a fucking seizure. And that's another reason why I don't want to use these drinks, because I feel like they're just setting everybody in this house up for fucking failure, because he wasn't even gaining the weight on them. And you can't ask me to give him something 5 times, 6 times, 7 times a fucking day. Even 4 times a day is too much. And even if I spread it out between over a period of a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 or 4 within that time period, it still clogs them up. So no, I have to. So what, am I going to lose my grandson because I'm going to just say no? No, we need to, if we're going to work as a team, we need to find out what fucking foods work with him, and what combinations it should be given to him, and in what amount. If you want to be a fucking dietitian, if you're a dietitian and you're a specialist, don't come to me with some pre-manufactured fucking drink that you don't even know what the hell is on the inside, outside of the government says that's what you prescribe. And then tell them to pump them up with a bunch of fat. Doesn't matter where they get the fat from. Get it from the butter, get it from the milk, get it from the cheese, get it from the cottage cheese. Right? Right? That was always at the top of their list. And maybe, maybe in a kind of a weird way, maybe he's lactose intolerant. Maybe I'm giving him too many milk products, thinking I'm doing the right thing because so-and-so told me to. Yes, there's high calories in butter. Yes, there's high calories in fucking, I don't want to say milk, but you know what I'm saying, right? But not all calories are good calories. There's high calories in sugar, right? Sugar doesn't get you anywhere in life, right? Rots out your teeth. I'm just saying. So, and this is where I have to be due diligent. I have to just keep trying to figure out. So yeah, and that's what I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna try and. I'm still going to use butter, don't get me wrong. And through my reading, instead of 4% or 2% fat cottage cheese, do the 1% or the 0%. I'll probably do a 1%, right? At least for now, right? And just sparingly for that texture, not so much for the nutrients part of it as I need it for the texture to help blend in with other foods with a tad bit of nutrient in terms of calcium and that kind of thing, right? Outside of that, because now I'm like, well, what are the, like, well, I've always been thinking what are the staples, but I really need to start fine-tuning the staples. And, in my mind, I'm thinking sweet potato, sweet potato with this versus sweet potato with butter, sweet potato with this. So, in other words, if you're making a meal for Amari, I'll use this as an example, instead of using 2 tablespoons of butter to get the calories, maybe use 1 tablespoon of butter for the flavor and the calories, and a 1/4 cup of this, or even 1/8 cup of this. So instead of using butter with the sweet potato, right, to get the consistency that you need, okay, you use this. And this is basically fat-free because it's broth and it's already been basically decreased. So this is perfect. Plus it has the collagen, which he needs. And when I was giving him those drinks all those years, because it was plant-based, he wasn't getting the proteins. And you can't force a kid to eat. And even if you could get him to eat yogurt, at best, it wasn't enough, I guess, protein that his body needed. And through that process, over a period of years, because you're under scrutiny, and if you don't follow the rules, you're in jeopardy of losing your children or your grandkids or your nieces and nephews if you happen to be an aunt or an uncle looking after the kids. I mean, it could be anybody, right? We're all being held hostage to this, people. That's the point. Some of us, not so much, where others are severely targeted. And we already know my family's targeted, so, go in with eyes wide open. That's the way I see it. So my eyes are wide open. I have a plan, right? You're either going to work with me, since you're all these teams, and you say you're a team, but nobody's working with me as a team, but they expect me to follow orders. Basically, if it gets to that point where, if you're telling me this, I'm telling you no, and I'm explaining to you why, and I have a solution and a backup, and you're supposed to help me versus me fucking making it easy for you so that you can ship my grandson off someplace else because whatever you offered me was one big fucking failure. And in my mind, those drinks are a fucking failure. And that's the bottom freaking line here, because I'm the one that deals with this crap. Hell, I can't even wash that shit, that smell, out of his fucking clothes that are brand new, for crying out loud. Right? Like, come on. So I'm like, okay, these things, you got to be careful how you wash them because of the way they're made and what they're made of. You're not supposed to use bleach. So I'll have to soak them in freaking vinegar or something. That's how bad these drinks are. And that's the crap that's sitting in Mari's fucking gut for like weeks on end. Okay, no wonder why he's not gaining any weight, people. Now the problem with prune juice and prunes, they're great. And you tend to rely on them because you're just, you're nervous, right? And the last thing you want is for him to get clogged up. When I first started off with this little process that I'm working on right now, it worked. He was having a soft poo 2 times in a row. It was great. And then I broke down and I gave him those drinks. And then, maybe I was giving him too much fats without, I was giving him rice puddings and, and then of course I'm putting in extra butter and, and whatever and just whatever. And so at least I'm thinking about it, right? At least I'm like, I'm going to go easier on the fats. I do want to go, I do want more meat in his diet. That's definite. but maybe with less fat. Where before I was thinking more meat with more fat, right? You watch my last several videos. I was adding in the fat because I'm told that fat helps to put on weight, but maybe for Amari, his body's not digesting it. So maybe take away the fat, or at least reduce it, but still give him the meat, which would be specialty meat, ground turkey, not pre-ground turkey that you buy in a store, but you buy a turkey and you ground it up, and that there's a difference. Trust me, there is a difference between hamburger meat that's being ground up at the grocery store versus grinding up your own roast. Okay, two different kinds of meats. Unless, of course, you can find a really good quality ground up turkey. But besides that point, that's why I like canning, because I went to try and buy turkey meat, just like a turkey breast or something. I can't even find fucking turkey breast. You have to buy the whole freaking turkey, and that's assuming that you can find a turkey, and most times they're frozen. And I don't got time, and I'm not canning no more, so I got turkey canned and stuff, so I'm good. But those jars have fat in it, so that might be problematic, because maybe for Amari, his body can't digest fat like ours. So therefore he requires less amounts. Or maybe specific types, right? Maybe he is allergic to milk products. Maybe he'll respond better to chicken fat than butter. I'm just using that as an example. So, these are things I'm going to have to factor in. I've never bought 1% freaking cottage cheese, never mind 0%. Yeah. But I would for Amari if it benefited him. And because I've been so programmed to think, well, feed him cottage cheese, feed him sour cream, feed him butter, feed him whipping cream, feed him milk. Don't give him tang, just give him milk. Right? Fuck the vitamin C. Just pump him up with a bunch of milk products. I go by default. The more fat that's in the cottage cheese, the better grandparent I am. The richer the cream, the better grandparent I am. The best butter on the market, the better grandparent I am. When I might not be doing the right thing altogether. So, that's where I'm going to be leaning my attention to over the next month or two as I'm working on Amari's diet. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it has to be in moderation versus, I don't know, people. He's not sick, though. You see, that's the thing. It's so deceiving, right? Because he bounces around and he's active and he talks and, he's just, he gets cocky, he has personality, he likes attention, he'll play with you, he'll go out of his way to make you laugh, right? He gets real chippy and chirpy when the kids come by and he's like right in there with them, yakking away and, and, right? And like, but he's not putting on the weight, right? That's the problem. But I'm in some kind of way. I'm glad. I think the worst is over now, for now anyway. When it comes to this stomach bug, because it did the job. It got rid of because I was getting concerned. It's not moving. Come on, Amari, it was not moving, and I didn't want to start filling him up with prune. Oh yeah, prune juice. You got to be careful with prune juice too, and prunes, because they can upset the stomach if it's too much. So I give him a few days break from it, right? And started giving him prune juice because that thing wasn't moving in there, and But you got to be careful with that. You can't use that as a... I mean, I suppose you could do it on a daily basis, but it would have to be, again, within reason. Like, you can't... you know, like... I don't know. Because it can upset the stomach too much after a while, right? That's why I kind of go with the organic one, because it's mild. It's really mild. And then I've got these plums that are canned. I buy them from Walmart. Oh, they're so good. And I grind that up and put a little bit in Amari's food. It was working, but, you know. And then I give him, like, other things too, right? But I'm just trying to give him more meat and stuff. And he was eating it. But it was those drinks, because I know that smell. So much so that I can't even get him out of fucking brand new freaking rubber pants. It's like stupid. That you'll never hear, though, from those people over there that tell you to use them. And if you don't use them, somehow you're inadequate. Yeah, okay. So anyway, I'm feeling kind of insecure. Because I'm up a real battle. I'm like up against a big battle here. Yeah, it's a tough battle because you know, there's only so much you can feed them within a day, right? So that's what's been going on. This was a long video. All that in less than 24 hours. Yeah. I gotta go out here pretty soon. And I'm ready to fall asleep, so maybe I should just take a little nap or something. Lay down just even for an hour or two. I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about this video until after I get home. We need to give people credit who look after disabled people. It's tough. But the love you get back is worth it. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I just turned off my camera with the video that I'm working on. It's like 10 minutes after 7 in the fucking morning here. Do you hear this crap? This is what I mean. And then they come in and they force you out of your house because they're improving the fucking neighborhood as they're polluting everything around them. Because this shit that they're grinding right in front of my fucking house, I can almost guarantee you. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Look at this stupid shit. Okay? Look at this. Do you see this stupid fucking shit here? Like, this is fucking pathetic. I hate this shit, people. Okay? This is grit. Like, 1, 2, 3. Look how many they got. 1, 2. Look at this. Look at this fucking shit. This is bullshit. This is the fucking city of Surrey, in the province of British Columbia, Canada, speeding up the fast track of pushing out people out of their fucking houses so they end up fucking homeless, so they can come in and scoop up on the little children after they've been injured by the healthcare system. Like, seriously, man. Okay? Like, seriously, fucking man. How many they got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fucking 6 dump trucks or cement trucks rolling their shit here. Like, this is bullcrap. I know you can't see it, but you can hear it. Okay? You can, do you see? Do you see? Do you see? Look, another one drive by. Look, there it is. Look, another one. That's another 7. There's fucking 7 of them. Like, what the hell? What the fucking hell? Yeah. Oh, you're improving the neighborhood. You're just forcing my family out onto the fucking streets. For what? For what? So that we can be harvested at the whim of the ones that own these trucks and run the companies to fucking improve the neighborhood? Fuck off. See? 11:30 in the morning, and they're still doing it. Yeah. There are one right now. It hasn't stopped. It just doesn't stop.